first message says, "Hello, sisters. I've been dating my girlfriend for approximately 7 years, and she's still refusing to introduce me to her family, though my entire family knows her. We started back in the university, and I understood her then when she said her parents wouldn't like to know she was in a relationship because she had to focus on education. However, during the same time, I had introduced her to my family who lived in Accra. We schooled in Kumasi, where her family was. Now, sometimes on vacations, she would go with me to my house, but she never took me to hers. The first time I saw her father was when he was sick in the hospital and needed blood. She told me, so I had to be available at the hospital, but due to some reasons, I couldn't donate the blood, and that was it. Fast forward. We've been out of school for over 3 years now, and still none of her family members know me. I broke up with her because of that, and later we came back together, and I gave her the option of either telling at least her mother or letting everything go. I've been to the area she lives in twice this month, and in both situations, she met me outside. First time, she made us sit in someone's house for over an hour. I spoke to her about it, and she promised she would do the right thing. I went there yesterday too, and she met me outside. A few minutes after I left, I called her and told her that I couldn't take it anymore. As usual, she got angry that I had questioned her. I told her I wanted to give her space, which she willingly agreed to. Now, it's been over 24 hours, and she hasn't even called to apologize or say something to me. It's always like that. She expects me to call and bring up the issue. If I don't, we can stay for a week or even a month without talking. It's been almost 7 years of dating, and I'm still a ghost to her family. I had to lie to my family that her family knows me when I was asked. I tell myself that I know her flaws, and so if I leave her, who would help her overcome such flaws? But at this point, I feel like giving up. What should I do? Sabi, I'll come straight to you.
You? Yeah. The problem here is this guy knows what's going on, but he keeps on hoping that she's going to prove him wrong. It's not possible. Let's just think now like adults who have minds. If you had to be in a relationship with someone for 7 years, 7 years, and you're still meeting outside, that does not make sense. The only way or the only reason that you met the father was because he was in need of blood, which says to me, this is an assumption, obviously, because I don't know you, I don't know the gentleman, which says to me that this girl is always with him when she's in need, whatever that may look like. But when she's in need, she calls upon him. She doesn't seem to care about his feelings, how he feels about the fact that he hasn't met the family. It's been 24 hours. While he's in pain, I can guarantee you that she's not. I think what I would like to touch on, though, is the guy himself and not necessarily the relationship. I'd like him to have a conversation with himself about why it is that he's allowed this to go on for this long, if in fact this is what he says it is. Why, in fact, it's okay for him to be with someone who seems to not care for him. We all know, guys, when we're in love with someone, one of the number one things we do is we claim that person. And what I mean by claiming is we tell the world, this is my man, this is my boo thing, especially if that other person is telling you that you are who they want to be with, right? So she's not claiming him. But I want to know from him, what is it about the situation that makes him feel it's okay, that this is the best he can do? I really need him to look within himself and ask himself, there's a self-worth issue here. Even with everything that's gone on, he's still saying he's waiting on her. The ball is in her court. There's nothing in that paper or whatever he sent to us that talks about him. What is he going to do next? What is it that he wants? He's been waiting on her for 7 years. So my question to him is, when is he going to change the narrative of his life and take control, whatever that may look like?
Right. Okay. Gil, what do you think? 7 years. That's a long time to just.
Are you a charity
ghost,
worker, if I can call you that? Because the last bit says, it says what? He knows all her flaws, and so nobody else do. So why? What are you? Are you? What? I don't get it.
He's
so
a
are you? So yeah, fixer upper. So that's what you're doing, and. As usual, I didn't hear. Okay, it's a good thing you said they've been dating for 7 years. Because nobody dates for 7 years. Actually, I always say that. So, and that shows how unserious the whole thing is. Because if it was a proper relationship, it wouldn't have lasted for this long with no substance in there. Because it's like, and he's doing all the work. He's like I gave an example the other time. Like both of you are carrying a sofa, and then she's left the whole weight of the other side for him. So he's the one lifting the whole thing by himself, and she's just there. Because he says every time there's an issue, she never reaches out to even apologize or anything. He does all the work. And you're even there to go and donate blood. It's like I feel there's this desperation to be in a relationship with somebody. And it's like whether the person is bringing something to the table or not. No, I don't know. Or maybe he feels I'm the man, so I have to, deliver all the time. So it's like you're not expecting anything from her. Like, what is she bringing to the table? Is it the two of you are in a relationship, or is it just yourself? Because no remorse, no empathy. Because if you're pushing and pushing and pushing, like you want to meet the parents, and she's saying no, and she still meets you outside, like Sabi said, that should let you know that she's ashamed of you or something. I don't really know why someone will keep you away from the family for so long. Because even with me, even when I have friends, there's nothing strange about bringing the person even into the house, even as a friend. The person knows then this is where I live. It shows like you're a human being and you have your own habit. Yes. But you now outside, and you have allowed this thing to go on for 7 years. I don't get it. No progress, nothing. 7 years. I mean, Charlie, I think you've been dating yourself. That one there, it's just clear. You've been dating yourself. And if I were you, I'll just, because and then the communication, I don't see how you guys even talk. Like, what's the communication like? Is it that you just see how you feel, and then she gets angry, and then you leave it, and then tomorrow the same thing keeps continuing? I think this is just, from day one when I read the story, I just knew this is just, you're just wasting your time. No.
Right.
I think she just, I wouldn't even say she even sit there and talk about anything. Yeah. She's just not there. With you, you're not on the same page. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Sure. Nancy?
This one is Uncle. No, but okay, so we've sat on this show several times and asked people to have some self-worth. Okay? If you value yourself and you know what you're worth, you will not let anybody put you through this. Most women like to show off their boobs. It's our thing.
Said, yeah.
It's our thing. It's what we do. This is my guy, you know. Most families look forward to meeting the partners of their daughters when their daughters are of age. And so the minute you start to feel like this girl is avoiding taking me home, that's when you start to check yourself. Please, you're not her father. Whatever her flaws are, is not your place to fix. And if nobody will love her for them, you are not the Jesus Christ. There's something called the Savior mentality. I think you're on that path. You think you're a Jesus Christ. You have come to save her. Please, nobody made you her savior. You love her, that's what's going on. And so you're making excuses for her bad behavior. But that's exactly what it is. It's bad behavior. It's behavior that you're better than. You've stuck with the girl for 7 years and you've not met her family. I'm sure by now her family is asking, who are you with? You understand? Because
at least she's done with school.
Yeah, you're done with school, you know. So I'm sure, her mom at least will be asking, so is there any guy? So it's not like you put her children and she can't take you home. So she just doesn't want to take you home. Now, Charlie, after 7 years, you need to grow a pair. Because it sounds like you don't have a pair. Because she's walking all over you. I'm being as honest as I possibly can. she's walking all over you by this whole, I'm giving you space. She says, okay. She won't call you 24 hours. She won't apologize. Because you'll come back. I've said on the show before, we allow what continues. You know, we allow people to treat us in the ways that they treat us. It's really, really clear. This girl has no future intentions for you. I don't know how else to put it except advise yourself, say.
Could she be dating someone else, you think?
She could even be married. When I read it, I said, could she be married? Is that why she's...
Yeah, but for 7 years, that's, I mean,
where's
the man? Is he where is
maybe
he?
he's outside.
7 years.
It's possible.
Like if it's a long distance.
If it's a long distance marriage, maybe she's betrothed to somebody.
So you're married to him, and then you're,
it's possible.
whiling away the time.
Because he's not here. Because he's not here. And it's possible that's why she can't take him home, because her family probably knows
there's somebody else.
Or she's betrothed to somebody.
Yeah, the main person.
Like there could be all sorts of things. But my point is, you're the one who's written to us. Honestly, I don't even want to question her reasons. The thing is, she hasn't taken you home for 7 years. You have taken her home, which is unusual. Guys don't take girls home unless they are absolutely sure of them, you know? Yeah. So it means that you are sure of her, but she's not sure of you. In fact, it doesn't even look to me like she even wants you. I mean, the first time you met her dad was when he needed help.
Yeah, right.
She's using you. That was it.
You didn't get to give the blood at the end.
Exactly, but basically it sounds like she's found someone that she can use, for whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know about finances, but she's using you one way or another.
I don't think they are dating.
He's being used.
Yes.
You're being used. So Charlie, say, please, once you hear you're being used, look sharp and do the needful. Why?
Is this thing uncommon? Like when, say, people in a relationship have arguments or fights, like one party just decides to go blank?
It happens a lot.
Oh, it does happen.
It happens a lot. It happens a lot. And for me, I usually say, okay, so in most relationships, the love is never 50-50. There's always one person who loves the other more. Always. It's very rare to find a 50-50 type of love. And so you would usually find that the one with the 70 is the one to making amends and all of that. But after what that does is, after a while, he or she becomes resentful, because he notices the only reason he does it is because of the love that he has for the person. But after a while, your self-worth kicks in and you start to think, wait a minute, I deserve, in fact, she was wrong. I deserve an apology for this, and then after a while, it piles up, and he or she may not speak about it for a while. But then, it's in those relationships that one day, it's over.
That's it.
Then you're like, but it was a small fight. No, it wasn't a small fight. It was all of the apologies that he or she has been giving for so long. And today he's like,
There's so much one can take. You can't take,
I'm tired, I'm done.
You're like,
I'm done.
That's where he's at now, I think. Yeah.
All right. I mean, I would never be in a relationship like that, and especially not for 7 years. And as this gentleman said, he could understand if the girl said it whilst they were still in school.
Yes.
Like, okay, some parents are funny like that. Hey, concentrate on your studies. When you're done, you can get all the men you want, kind of thing. Sometimes they tell, parents tell their daughters that. So no surprise there. But
you're done.
After school, what's the issue? And how disrespectful can she be by taking you to go and sit in someone's house for an hour when you go visit?
Outside.
Yeah, so strangers welcome you, but not her people. Doesn't add up. If she's not dating someone else, she really doesn't want you like that. I think you should just advise yourself. It's that simple. A couple of comments coming in for this particular message. Says Kweku, he says, a woman who claims to love you or be with you cannot introduce you to her family there some way. If you were that important, she would have introduced you. You will get the shock of your life very soon, and when you see her being married off to someone else. Ibrahim says, probably her home is like mine, and she wants to be seen as coming from a rich home, so sending you there will expose her pretense.
7 years, though.
Yeah, that's a lot of faking, man. Kwame says, it's either her family has already made nuptial arrangements for her, or she's already introduced a suitor to the family. Stop taking this relationship World Cup and move. She's friend-zoned you, da-da-da. Oh, now, bleh. Sally says, are you helping her out financially? She could just be hanging on for financial help, but has someone else in the picture. Jean Phyllis says, if you know her area, why don't you visit her house unexpectedly to know the reason behind her not wanting you to meet her parents? Who knows? She could be a ghost. Jean says, you are her boyfriend, not her husband. 7 years, you still haven't made any serious moves towards real commitment. Are you kidding me? Why should she introduce you as who? Her boyfriend? To African parents? Guys, let's not joke around like that. Mohammed says, you're right to say you've been dating her, but she's not dating you. My question, however, is after 7 years, how much more time do you have available to waste on her? Even if her family is putting up a small kiosk, she should still take you home if truly she loves you. And finally, Maggie says, it doesn't always mean she's hiding something. Some parents are very strict, especially the overly religious ones. Maybe you should muster the courage and go to the house unannounced and see the outcome. Let's have this conversation for a second. This whole religious parents, you know, like sort of,
you know,
keeping their kids under lock and key.
Yes, they stay away from boys, stay away from boys. And then suddenly at 25, I want my grandchildren. Ma, please.
You said I should stay away from boys.
You said I should stay away from boys. Ma, please. Your grandchildren, they will come from boys. You know? But yeah, it's an African parent thing. And you know that thing they say that when your parents do something to you, you don't understand until you become a parent yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes.
You're saying you understand.
Oh, I understand. Pa. It's fair. Okay. Yes, it's fair. It's fair because you know that your children are young and will not be making the most sensible decisions and making the most sensible choices. So you have a daughter, someone has a son, you don't know how they've brought them up, but you know how you've brought your daughter up, and then one day she meets this boy, and we all know love makes us stupid. It does. Or she thinks she's in love. Next thing you know, and trust me, most African parents, it's only pregnancy they're afraid of.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's never the STDs or anything. We're afraid that you go and get pregnant and then we will be called bad parents. Bottom line.
Yes.
That's what it is. We don't want to be called bad mothers. So, yeah. But, Charlie, she's finished school. So this doesn't hold water.
It doesn't hold. It really doesn't.
Because it's the same African parents who, when you finish school.
Yeah, and then you finish. So
when you finish school, they ask you for.
They didn't mention their ages, right?
No, but they've been dating for 7 years.
So
they must be.
And if
they're not young.
Uni,
22,
yeah,
20.
At least 2 days.
You're grown enough. So I don't think that'll be the case here. In fact, some African parents after a certain age will start to worry.
Yes.
Why you haven't brought someone home? You know, like I have a friend whose parents keep questioning her. Yeah. So yeah.
It's not even question, it's pressure. They put pressure on you.